We're good now, yeah? Sweet, alright, I'm ready.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Against the Fence. UFC 259 has just taken place and this is our very first fan cam, and we've joined here by Kieran from North London. Kieran, how you doing, mate?
How you do, guys? You alright? How'd you like the fights? You enjoy them?
Yeah, man, it's been an interesting card, really. 5 fights. There's a lot that's gone on, really. It's been the first time for a while now since we've had a 3-fight main event. But let's get your thoughts on the overall card. Let's get your thoughts on the overall card. How did you think it played out tonight?
The overall card itself, I'll be honest, I think the prelims were better than the main card.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Main card was good. It was good, but I feel like obviously there was the disappointment with the Coco main event with the illegal knee that happened.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit of milking on Sterling's end. He was definitely concussed. He was definitely hurt. No doubt it should have been stopped. But
yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think it was the right decision?
I think it was right. I still feel like he was looking for a way out because I think he was tired. And he sort of worked out towards the end that he was getting hit more and more as the fight got on.
Here's a good one.
But I feel like his fighting style, his approach to that fight was so bizarre to me. Like just watching it, it was frustrating me. I was like, why is he doing all this spinning stuff? Why is he just tapping him constantly? Like it was just a weird approach, like with me. Like, I thought if he just took a step back and made it a lot simpler in his approach, he would have had a lot more success.
I was certainly concerned with the amount of output he had early on as well with that. Agree.
Yeah. No. For me, it definitely felt like he was milking it at first, but then as the time went on, he did kind of start to simplify. What's the word I'm thinking?
Slow down.
No. Sympathize with him, really.
Yeah.
You know, he did take that illegal knee, which was really unfair in some respect because it did land flush. And it's like,
that's the thing.
You know, do you want to go out like that? You know, if it affects you later on in the rounds.
You see, when it first happened, I thought, okay, he got hit. He'll just take 2 minutes, get back up. Hopefully, he'll carry on. But then when you watch it back in slow motion, he was hit hard. It was a hard knee. So I think most people would have been pretty rocked after that, to be honest, and probably out. I think the way he reacted to it, because when he got hit, first of all, he was a bit rocked.
Yeah.
But then I think once he realized that, oh, this is probably my way out, he started to milk it a little bit more. Like I think he sort of realized, you know what, he hit me pretty damn hard here, and it was illegal, and I can win the belt right now if I just milk it a little bit more. Let's do it.
I mean, certainly, BAFTA award to him for the way he sort of carried on the facade even after that, right? But
it was like when his arm got raised and he made this weird face, like what? Like really? I've won? I was like, come on, you knew that was going to happen. Yeah,
it's a good performance. I love the acting, spot on.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think a DQ and stopping the fight was the right choice as well.
That's because what I was going to say. What would you do if that was you?
If that was me, well, see, I only box me, so I can't really say how I'd react if someone kneed me in the head like that. But from experience of being rocked, being rocked, you usually recover in a minute or two, depending on how hard you got hit. If you got hit hard enough where, his knee smacked him in like where about that part of his head, right?
Yeah.
That area. I mean, he was probably concussed, but usually in a fight, you get concussed anyway. It's either a mild concussion. You always have one. It just happens because you're getting hit in the head, But he probably got hit with such a force that he just probably couldn't get out of that rocked state, I do feel like if he gave it another minute or two, he probably would have been okay. But I just feel like it was the fourth round, right? Fourth round it happened in
Yeah, that's right.
round
That
four.
was round 4.
I just feel like he was tired. You could see he was tired during the fight. I just feel like he probably ran out of ideas, and you could see that Yan was starting to connect more. He was starting to plant his feet more, time his shots and land. So I feel like it was a mixture of him for sure being badly rocked, but also him thinking, right, even if I get back up and I carry on fighting again, I don't see myself winning this fight.
Yeah.
He could easily just
To
go
be
back,
honest.
go back to the drawing board, and you know, figure out what was going wrong in those earlier rounds. Well, I say earlier rounds, maybe 3 where he started to fade, and then look to adapt his game and come back even better. But yeah, no, there's some interesting thoughts you got there, Kieran. Did you get to watch the Thiago Santos Alexander Rakic fight? What did you think of that? Rakic getting the decision over Santos as well.
I
Where do you see
didn't get to
now?
watch the whole fight of that one. I watched towards the end of it. I did hear that it was a very slow, standstill sort of fight.
Yeah.
There wasn't much going on.
No.
Overly hyped.
Yeah, Rakic getting the decision win. You know, would you like to see him potentially fight? Jan's obviously just beaten Izzy, so it's likely he'd fight Glover next. Where do you see Rakic potentially in the mix now?
See, I think he should be more or less next in line. You'd think, right? Because you'd think.
But there's not really, it's not really enough there to maybe get a shot. You know.
I mean, Santos did fight for the title at some point, and that does, I think, garner some sort of respect when you beat a guy who also fought for the belt himself. But at the same time, I think to earn a title shot, you need to earn it, not put on a boring fight. You know, you might beat the guy, but did you do enough to think, okay, maybe this guy can actually give the champ a good fight? You know,
that's on the UFC for making a really good pair up. You know, they gotta match these fighters' skill sets as well.
Stars make fights. Yes, stars make fights. That's the problem.
That's it.
No, absolutely.
But I feel like, you see, I think Jan's a good champion, but I think he only won tonight purely based off of how much bigger he was.
Yeah.
I really think that's why he won.
Yeah, he definitely used his strength advantage in those grappling exchanges. We were kind of expecting to see Izzy maybe completely avoid it, but then I think as the later rounds got on, and he did say post-commentary that he had to take a lot of leg kicks, and his legs were, you know, starting to give way, and that's maybe been the factor really that kind of caused Jan to get those takedowns.
Yeah, see, so I think so with Jan. So he's, again, like I say, a great champion, but I do feel like he's not going to be champion for a long, long time. I do think somebody is going to beat him.
Yeah.
And if Izzy was more of a natural, probably, you know, 205, or someone who had to cut down to 205, he probably would have had a better chance. But his natural weight was 200.
I'm so disappointed by that decision of that fight. You know, I think watching it back, you know, Jan only won because he's a heavier guy, and that is it.
That is really it. Stylistically,
control time, you know. There's a lot of control time there in those rounds, and they did get, you know, unfortunately, they do look like 10-8s.
I feel like what happened in...
Old is he?
Yeah, I know, but, you know,
every round.
He's giving away rounds.
Yeah, I feel like what happened in that fight, it was a case of Izzy knew that if he got clipped, he could get hurt. So he was looking for his counters, but he wasn't looking to engage as much and start the engagements. Whereas with Jan, he was aware that if he tries to punch him, he will get countered. So he was also waiting at the same time as well. That I feel like what uh, Jan's plan was to engage, wait for a counter, and then after that counter, re-engage again. So he was going to try and counter his counter, which is what he was doing. He'd jab him, say jab his face, jab his chest, jab his body, wait for someone to come back, and then immediately after Izzy counters, he counters him and pressures him, and that's how he got the last takedown, which he controlled the last half of the last round with. He waited for Izzy to try and counter him, and then once he shifted his weight forward, he went down and pretty easily took him down.
Yeah, they were pretty easy takedowns.
Really easy. That's purely
Very well
from strength.
timed from Jan. It's pat on the back to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just we touched up on that. Let's just quickly get on some of the early ones. Did you get to see the Makhachev versus Drew Dober fight? What did you make of Makhachev's performance? Because there's a lot of talk about him being potentially the next Khabib. He did get the submission win, and a very awkwardly submission, really, as well. He put a lot of pressure from his shoulder on that neck. What did you make of his performance?
He won for sure. He was dominant the entire time. Was it an exciting fight? No, I wasn't excited by it that much. You see, when they say he's the next Khabib, he's got a very similar style to him, but no one has the same sort of ground and pound as Khabib, has the same active movement, like, constant transitioning, constant punching. Nobody has that same output as him.
Yeah, no, the ability. I think what differentiates the two. I mean, compared to what we've seen, from Makhachev as of late. I think Khabib's very, very quick to secure the ground position and then explode with shots. Whereas Makhachev, it just seems a little bit, he takes his time and really tries to, make sure that he's got that top position and really weighing down on his opponent's shoulders, really. So you don't really see that much of the ground and pound. You just see like a few little bits at times, but hey, man, the submission game is clearly still there as well.
Yeah, and it's just such an unusual submission as well. One that I didn't think was coming. He was in that similar position earlier on in the fight, even didn't end in submission, but this one was just a slightly tighter angle, and there you go, you got the tap.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really hear the commentators on our end as such, but we picked up that we didn't really think it was a choke necessarily. It just looked like there was just a lot of pressure on the windpipe.
It was pressure on his neck. He was sort of turning it, I think, like tilting it to I think it was more so like his shoulder as well. Like he just sort of tightened him up.
Yeah.
And then got him into it. That's what it was. Yeah,
the hands weren't necessarally locked together. I didn't think seeing any of that
really.
sort of tight sort of wrenching motion going on there with Islam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Dober could have got out of it. Should he have attempted a bit of a choke?
An overhook
on
yeah,
Islam himself.
I think there was a way out for sure.
Yeah, there was. He just didn't have.
I just feel like he was probably at this point exhausted as well, because the whole fight he was being held down.
Yeah.
In the first round, one thing that made me go, "Ooh, that was nice," was the armbar attempt. How slick it was.
Yeah,
that was a really slick armbar attempt. It was so quick, his leg just swept over so quick.
Yeah.
But one thing that I realized with Makhachev is that he struggled to get past full guard position. He struggled. He was stuck there quite a lot.
I guess someone against Dober should be easy, right?
Yeah,
Dober done some really. He done well to get back to position, get back to full guard of a lot of the occasions in the grappling exchanges.
I think his takedowns as well were so quick. His takedowns were like that. As soon as he got hold of him, took it down. Oh
yeah, the sweeping was sexy. Honestly,
he was just
so really good, so good.
On your point just a second ago about that armbar he jumped into, just as that fight was unfolding, you probably heard a commentary from us as well on this end. We were easily able to predict what Islam was doing next, And I was wondering if we can predict it. We called it was going to go to side guard. We called it was going to do this next. And I thought if we could do that, is he quite a predictable fighter?
No.
But then out of nowhere, when you thought you had him pinned, bam, armbar, and we just didn't see that coming.
Leg sweeps over so quick. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was really good. So, nice.
He's certainly got some great skill sets.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I guess Amanda Nunes, Megan Anderson, bit of whitewash really, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, I was hoping that Megan would have done a better job at using her height and reach to keep her at bay, more feinting, more just use her boxing more, which she has. I don't understand why all these fighters just seem to freeze when they're against Nunes. They freeze entirely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
but at least use jab, keep her at bay. She was so tall compared to her.
Yeah.
All she had to do was be on her toes.
True.
If she approached her, move back a little bit, back off, pump your jab out, more feints. I think the main thing that she didn't do was feint. Make her think something was coming. She wasn't feinting to make her think that something was coming back.
Yeah.
She just sort of let her come forward, throw that big looping overhand that she always throws and catches people with. Caught her with it. It seemed that the second that it landed, she was shocked by it. She was like, damn, what the hell was that?
Yeah, it's a massive shock when you I guess these girls just realise that, crap, it's go time and I'm against, arguably one of the GOATs in women's MMA, I mean,
in the sport itself, I think.
Yeah. It's a shame, but I'm we all expect her to maybe go back to the drawing board, make some adjustments to her game. She is 29. She's got some years left on her, definitely. But it will be nice to see if she makes some adjustments and see what's next for her.
Do you think there's no division there at featherweight because most women just waiting for Amanda to retire before actually signing up for it?
It's insane because the gap in skill is so huge from Nunes downwards. It's so huge. It's just insane how big it is. I think the only person that I expected to give her some sort of challenge was Cyborg, and even Cyborg got wiped out by her.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's insane. I just sort of hoped that Megan would have used her size advantage a bit more.
Yeah.
But she got shocked by her entirely. She was shocked.
What else do we have to throw at the Nunes?
That's it. That's the question.
We tried tall now, and now what else can we try?
Men.
That's what we were saying. That's what we were saying in the last show. It's about time. Cross it over, make it happen.
She's a man.
I still think she'd do a good job. She'd do well.
She'd be top 5 in the men's bantamweight or featherweight.
It's brilliant. But I think at this point, Shevchenko is always an option again because those two, when they fight, it's never a one-sided fight.
No.
I do think it's been how long now since their last fight?
Oh, it's been a long time. Very long time, at least.
3 years?
More than that, I think it's 5 at least. Yeah, 5.
5 years now, wow.
Maybe. I mean, I was just trying to think how long the women's flyweight division's been around. I mean, it's too long, really.
Yeah, one thing that I would have loved to see is Wei Li. If she was heavy enough and big enough to fight Nunes, that would be a great fight as well.
Yeah,
but she's so small as it is.
Yeah, she's gonna have to do an Adesanya there and put on
bulk up, but I
some
can't
pieces
see that.
down there.
Yeah,
bulk up, man. Yeah.
I can't see it.
But yeah, I think it's a common thing now with the top women in women's mixed martial arts that the top are at the very top, and then the ones that are under them are just so far down that it's not even a fight.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So what do you do? Create another division in between of some sort, or I mean, how do you?
I think Dana's got to go search, man. He's got to go on a search.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you're right.
New blood in there, new talent.
Retires, and you just lower that bar entirely to another standard from the scrap over.
Everyone's going to rise up once he retires, anyways.
Because it's like what he done with at the point where Johnson was the flyweight champ. and there was no one for him to fight. So they made a season of The Ultimate Fighter to find someone to fight him. Literally, the person who won that fights him next.
Yeah, that's what I'd be hoping, especially at featherweight, anyways. But
something like that, yeah.
Just getting these women's featherweights, isn't it? It's tying them down. A lot of them, Bellator's got a good couple of decent ones. Yeah.
It's just insane how huge that gap is. The skill gap is insane. But I'm positive there's people out there who can match her. They're just not known yet. They've not been found yet. But there's got to be somebody out there who can, match her in some way. It's got to be.
Yeah, look, we'll wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
But before we wrap this up, Kieran, just get a quick question on who you think is next for Izzy Adesanya. Where does he go? Does he stay at heavyweight, maybe bulk up a little bit, or does he go back down to middleweight?
I think at middleweight, he's still got a couple more fights at middleweight that he could fight in. With Whitaker, I think Whitaker will be getting the next title shot again if he beats Costa.
Okay.
I don't think Whitaker beats Izzy at all. I love Whitaker, but I don't think his style just matches with him at all. Okay, just doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't work. So Darren Till's fighting who?
He's going to be fighting Marvin Vettori.
I think Vettori wins that.
Ooh, okay.
I think
really?
Vettori beats Till, and wow. I think Vettori is the only person now. I think that I'm not entirely sure if he can beat Izzy or not.
Okay,
I don't think Till beats Izzy. Because I don't think Till's good, but I don't think he's quite at that top level. He's still young. He's still got time to get better.
Yeah, and he's disciplined as well. He's a bit of a wildcat, Till.
Yeah. But I just don't think he's got the ability to beat Izzy. I mean, he just about beat Kelvin. So I don't know, but it's styles, right? Styles make fights.
Yeah, both guys very similar style, and you just never know. But I think we'd give Izzy the edge just purely based on experience.
We sort of missed it on some of the other fights, but I did want to get your thoughts on each of the champions tonight, who you think's next for them, including if we don't get through all of them, but someone like Aljamain. And I want to know from your perspective, is that an instant rematch? Is there someone else in that division who deserves a shot at him?
For a DQ, I think if it's a DQ as blatant as that, where it could have been avoided and it just wasn't accidental at all, I don't think a straight rematch is deserved at all.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. I don't think it is because he threw it away, right? That's it. That's his fault.
And you think he should be punished? Okay.
Punish him. Not even punished. Just it should be treated as a loss, as in he got completely wiped out, and that's it. You move down, next person comes up, which hopefully will be TJ.
Sounds like he needs to re-earn a title shot.
TJ's going back in there. Yeah, no, that's right. There's some interesting points there you've got. Yeah. I'd assume that the UFC will try and rebook that fight. But if they don't, would you say a rematch between Sterling and Corey Sandhagen is on the cards?
I mean, Sandhagen's doing bits at the moment, isn't he? So
you can't ignore him. Aljo did tap him out in the first round, but Corey got caught. But if he keeps knocking dudes out like that, Corey Sandhagen's you just can't deny him, can you?
Yeah,
he's earned it, man. He's earned it for sure. And then TJ is obviously on his way back in. So depending on how long Sterling's out for, he'll get a suspension for, I reckon, 2-3 months if he's concussed, which he probably is. It depends on how much he wants to milk it for the whole year. We'll see.
Right.
But if he wants to milk it out, until maybe the end of this year, which I think he will, I don't think he'll fight again until at least around September time, October time.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Wow.
And then I'm thinking either TJ or Sandhagen. Jan, not just yet, I don't think.
Okay.
Jan
sounds like he needs to re-deserve that shot.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So he's going to do some work with some other fighters first before getting back in the octagon. But it would have some good narrative on the canvas when it comes around again. I'm sure.
I think maybe Yan TJ would be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, and if Sanhagen wants to stay busy and not wait out, you know, he could welcome TJ back as well.
Yeah, it just all depends. But I think at the moment the most deserving guy for the title next is Sanhagen.
Yeah.
I don't think TJ should get a straight title shot.
No. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, he did. You know, I know he got done and he got popped and stuff. But he did have to relinquish the belt. He didn't lose at bantamweight. He lost against Henry Cejudo at flyweight. So
yeah. You see, I've got like this thing where if you've done something against the rules to lose, then you don't deserve to get it again straight away.
Okay. That's fair. That's
what it is. Okay. Of course, it works differently with Dana and money and whatnot, and who wants what.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, Conor gets any fight he wants. You know, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, but
money.
Yeah,
he puts bumps on seats. Yeah, and that's what. And you know, Adesanya, he puts bumps on seats also. And fighters like that, I hope to sort of dictate the way things go, popularity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Izzy earns everything that he's got for sure. Though he earns that chance to fight Jan. Like he earned all of that. He went up. He tried. He failed. He didn't fail badly. He just failed because he weren't heavy enough, and it was as simple as that.
Yeah.
If he was 10 pounds heavier, 15 pounds heavier, I think he would have beat him with ease.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But very few times in life do you learn that, you know, more food can, you know, save the fight. You know,
absolutely.
I am. I'm happy to hear. You know, happy to hear that. And I think just the last one, we did touch on the light heavyweight belt already, sort of who's next in line for champions or whatnot. So we won't talk about Rakic too much. But with Islam, who's next for him?
You see,
he's 14 at the moment, and you know he's
14.
He's due to go up the table, but how far up do you reckon?
You see, I don't think that far up. I still feel like he needs more time before he gets in there with the top guys, because I think he'll get figured out.
We spoke a bit about Tony Ferguson, didn't we? That got thrown about. Do you think that's too soon?
Yeah, I think even that's too soon. Even though Ferguson's probably on his way out at the moment, I still think it's too soon, because his Islam's stand-up has not been tested yet properly. You know, he's gotten some knockout wins, but against guys who, you know, aren't ranked.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. But against someone who has a fighting style like Ferguson's, whose stand-up is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And he's got a good
challenge.
Yeah, like I think it's a step too much. Maybe, you know, someone rank 12, rank 11, not just breaking top 10 just yet. I think he needs one more fight in top 15, like 10 to 15, and then go into top 10 and still take it slow, because he's how old now, Islam? He's young still,
young, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still fairly young in the game, I think.
I think this.
I mean, he's
what is his age on here? You got it on the card down there.
Yeah. Islam is 29.
29.
Oh, okay, 29. So he's not young, but he's almost hit his prime.
Yeah.
He's almost hit his prime. I think there's no rush, to be honest. Still, there's no rush.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I think you're right as well. And I think it's just quite exciting having Khabib in his corner as well. It's the protege, you know. It's a story. He's Simba, and he's going to soon own everything the sun touches.
Yeah, there's a great narrative there, 100%.
It is.
Yeah. Do you boys think that Khabib's done now? What do you think?
I don't think he's got anything more to.
I think he is, but I think Dana's trying to entice him into a fight with Usman, in my opinion, purely because it's, you know, everyone wants to be a double champ now, and Izzy just had his crack, and for someone who's unbeaten, it just kind of makes sense because there's nothing else that he can give.
I don't think he's got any more to prove at lightweight. He's beaten all of them.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
So he needs that true next test and that next level test, and then, you know, if he gets that, then retire. Just go right off into the sunset.
how close is the next person in line from knocking him off of his pound-for-pound title?
What's that?
John Jones, that's it.
John Jones is his closest person. I think, if John Jones threatens his pound-for-pound title, I think he would have something to step back into the octagon for, to be fair. But, what's the news on John Jones?
Well, he's going to go up to and test the waters at heavyweight, and if he's successful at heavyweight, you could even add that argument in there for pound, purely because of the amount of title defenses he's had. It does outweigh Khabib's.
Yeah, I think he'll do pretty good at heavyweight. Not as good as he did at light heavyweight in terms of how much he cleaned out so easily. But I think he'll do decent at heavyweight.
Yeah.
He won't be stopping people. He'll be doing points all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
yeah, definitely.
But it's a matter of if he can take a punch or not at heavyweight. That's the only question, I think. That's it.
And Izzy found found out the hard way in terms of the strength at light heavyweight division. Will John Jones do the same at heavyweight? Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's good. It's still a lot of exciting things to go down, so it's great. Indeed. Right, listen, my man, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining us on the fan cam, the very first fan cam. We'll be really excited to get your opinions on the next one. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Stay safe, man. Take care. Take care, yeah. Have a good night. Good morning. Out, Kieran. Good to have you.